Hey guys, we've just finished our new update, which has the custom map editor. It's got a bunch of cool features, so in this video I'll give you a brief overview of what those are and how they work. Step 1 is to go ahead and host a game. Now these map editor features do work with multiplayer, so feel free to invite a friend that can help you edit. Once you're in the lobby, you hit the tilde button on the upper left of the keyboard and you'll get this new dev menu. Initially it'll just have the one button, which lets you look at your worlds. You can see I've got a bunch of worlds here, an increasing number of tutorials, and they've each got a play and edit button. If you hit the play button, you'll be able to go and play a match in that world. It won't show up here. This will only show the official maps. If you make a cool map, though, we'll probably add it here in a community map section. So let us know what you make. Then the edit button will take you into the world and let you keep changing it. We're going to make a new one, though, so let's call this tutorial number 6. Create and open. And here you can see we've got a kind of clean slate, a very simple starting map where we can start our work from. Now if you hit N, you can start no clipping to fly around. Another helpful key combo is F for the flashlight, which you have on by default in the Capture the Flag game, and Control F for super flashlight. I'm going to leave that on just so all the dark areas are illuminated. Now, the first thing I'll show you is the generation settings, which is the coolest system we've built. It's a little complicated though, so this will just be a very brief overview. We'll go into more of it later. Now to show this off, I'm going to turn off symmetry for a second. You can also control the symmetry of the world. We default to the flipped mirror. You can see this structure is mirrored over there. There's also a true mirror. You can see now it's perfectly symmetric, or you can turn that off. And now there's no symmetry at all. We'll come back to that later, but let's show off how these terrain geometries work briefly. So you'll notice this looks similar to a lot of the maps in that it's this kind of generic ellipsoid shape, which is what these dots are previewing for us. Now if I grab one of these control points, I can make the whole map narrower and hit save. And now the terrain is regenerating with that new shaping. We can even get crazier with it and tilt it on its side. And now the whole structure kind of has this diagonal look to it. Yeah, so more details to follow later in the video because it's a bit complicated, but it's really cool and it lets you make some cool stuff with it. But for now, let's just reset everything to how it was, and we'll make a new map to start with. Alright, next let's go over some of the basic tools. So if you open the menu again, you hit Terrain Brush Tools. You've got a simple brush editor. Lets you click and drag a spherical brush around the world. You can change its radius. It will use the material in your hands, so we can paint different things. Also worth noting that when symmetry is on, a lot of our materials have pre-programmed mirrored materials, so placing blue grass on one side will make red grass on the other, which is very handy. We've got the slightly bluish stone and the slightly reddish stone, as you can see here. That makes up most of the world. In addition to just the round shape, you can also make squares, you can make diamonds, cylinders, all sorts of stuff. But let's check out the smooth tool next. So the smoothing tool, it works pretty similar to how it works in MC Edit. If we go here, for instance, and we click and drag on that, we'll see we start getting a bit flatter of a structure as it just kind of smooths things out. Things become more walkable, etc. So, first step, placing a bunch of terrain with the brush tool, and then step 2, smoothing it out to look more natural, is a decent workflow. There's also the replace brush, which will change the material. So let's say we want to make this into red grass, we can do that, like so. There's also the erase brush, which can let us dig some holes. It's also just kind of fun to go crazy with it. Um, and finally, this will pivot to the next tool. There is the select brush. So if I drag around, this will select the blocks, but not actually do anything with them yet. So let's close this out and go look at the next menu, selections and structures. This is, oh, let me turn off my brush. There we go. This is a simple menu that lets you flood fill select things. You can box select things and do things with those selections. So if I turn it on, by default we've got box mode. So if I right click somewhere, I will begin making a box selection. And I can grow that, right click again to get the other corner. And so now I've selected this area and I've selected all this with the brush. We can start doing things with that. We could fill it all with the block in my hand. We could delete it. We can cut and paste it. We can heal it to how it used to be before we made any edits, turning it back to the natural terrain. We can also, if we open selected block types and refresh this, we can filter by the materials we've selected. So right now we're selecting 24,000 blocks of air, 11,000 blocks of red stone, 4,000 of red grass, and 4,000 of blue stone. Let's say we just wanted to select the air, and maybe we want to turn all of that into green grass. And we can do that. Turn that off. And only the air has been affected, not the terrain underneath. So that's really handy. You can also, a very useful thing you can do is flood fill and then copy and paste or save a structure. So let's turn this back on, flood fill the material, and then when we right click this, it will select all of the grass that is immediately adjacent to that. We can see it's it's not picked the ground underneath, it's picking the grass on top. Now we can make a new structure. Oh, we could just cut and paste that if we like. I'll hit the cut button and we can paste someplace else. Looking around can make it rotate by 90 degrees. And let's paste that. And we've moved our grass. And thankfully all those types of things also honor mirroring, so we still got the mirrored giant grass block on the other side as well. But if we select this again, we can good time to mention that Control Z will hit undo. So if I make a bunch of changes, we can Control Z them away, get things how they were before. Cool. But anyway, let's turn on selecting, flood fill the grass again. Instead of cutting and pasting it, we can make a new save structure. Grass block. When we save that, that will save to our computer, and then under structures, we'll be able to see in the future. So I've got some different structures saved, but now I've got the grass block, which I can spawn in whenever I'd like, and put it in the world. And those little highlights show what terrain I'm going to replace. And so when it's saved, it saves where I was relative to the structure and the direction I was looking. So make sure you've got a good view of it, and then looking 90 degrees can have you rotate it. Very handy feature. When you're spawning this in, you can turn off track player, which lets you freely move around to get a better look at it, and then turning that back on will let you control its movement again by moving around. So that will help you place it, and when you're done, hit spawn or the key combo. Let me turn on super flashlight mode again, Control F. We see we pasted it in. So we've made a mess of the world, but that's how the brush tools work and the selections and structures. Alright, next I'm going to spawn in a room so we can start setting up some of the game mechanics to make the game playable. So I'm going to put a room here, and let's put a second one here. This back here is going to be our flag room. So if you go to spawns and teleporters, you can control the flag spawns and the player spawns and the player teleporters. Opening that menu, we see we have a You're not going to have to care about default or spectator. We've got a red selection of spawns, a blue selection of spawns, and then the red flag and the blue flag. Let's set the blue flag spawn here, which will automatically honor the mirror mode and set the red flag spawn. We can test that by clicking it, and it will teleport us to the position. Same thing with the red one. And we should be good. When the game begins, the flags will be placed there. Next, in our other hideous room, intersecting terrain, let's place the player spawns. So let's remove the red spawn that we had and add this new red spawn. And that should be good to go. If you add a couple of them, players will be distributed around those spawns so they're not standing right on top of each other. And we can teleport to these to make sure they look good. And same with the blue ones. Looks great. Alright, and the one last thing to get this playable, well, two more things. You'll notice when the games begin, usually the doors are blocked by invisible blocks that go down when the game begins. To place those, we're going to open up our menu, invisible blocks. Also, we're going to open up the inventory with tab. Here you can grab more blocks to build things with more colors. We've got a couple ones here immediately available, but if you search for them, there's a lot more blocks. So if we just search blue, you can see we've got a whole bunch of blue blocks. If you look up torch, you'll see we've got a bunch of torches of different colors. Those can light up the world. Anyway, we're here to look up the invisible block. If we go ahead and drag that to our hotbar, we have an invisible block, which we can start placing. Unfortunately, it's invisible. So we want to check this box to make it visible, and then it will appear as this red material. But to make, so you can use this to, like we like making those space windows, so you can put at the sides of the map, or places you don't want the players to go. But for the special start of game invisible blocks, you want to hit this button to place pre-game invisible blocks. And now all invisible blocks you place for the rest of the session will be the special kind of invisible blocks. So let's go ahead and do that. And now these will disappear when the match begins. Cool. Good time to also show off another tool. We have a builder's wand. And if you've ever used the builder's wand in Minecraft, this one works very similarly. So when you right click an edge, it'll just keep placing blocks of the same type up the edge. Let's do the same thing over here. And voila, the game should be playable. Oh, excluding one more thing, we need, turn that back off. We need map pickups. So we go to the map pickup editor. And this works by placing where you want the map pickups to spawn on the blue side, and when the game begins, the red mirrored ones will be automatically created. So let's say we put a map pickup here. It'll put this floating thing to indicate the position. Maybe put one here, and let's do one over here. Cool. And again, we can delete those. We can teleport to them. Test them out. Alright, and that should be it. The game is now playable. So we're in tutorial 7 right now. If we go and hit play, we'll be able to audition the game and make sure it all works. So we can see I cannot go through here because we've got the invisible blocks. Once the game begins, we can pop through. And if we jump over it, we see the flag has spawned in the enemy's flag room. Cool. After waiting a while, we can see the map pickups begin to spawn where we told them to spawn. Almost forgot to mention, we need to make some teleporters. Well, we don't need to, but when the map gets big, it's nice to put a teleporter near the spawn to get the player in the action. So if we make a little platform here and open the spawns and teleporters again, we can add a teleporter, which immediately starts trying to teleport me. We can see I actually made 2 of them. It's got one, and if we teleport to them, we can see which is which. It's got the blue one and the red one automatically made for us. So let's go, yeah, this is the red one. let's go a little ways forward, I guess just right here, and we'll set the destination. So that's where it's from, and we're gonna set 2 here, and we can set the lookter. So we'll just take what direction we're looking, and that's the direction they're gonna look after they teleport. So if we go try that again, if we sit here, we can see it's gonna take us over there, and it's gonna point us looking this way. And the blue one should be mirrored. The models won't spawn in until the game begins, but the functionality still works. Cool. And that's how the basic editing tools work. Things are a little rough around the edges right now. Hopefully we'll improve usability going forward, and we look forward to getting some feedback from you guys. But things should be at least usable right now, so we wanted to get into your hands so we can start getting some cool maps. Stick around for part 2, and I'll explain how those terrain geometries work for shaping the noise to make some really cool areas. Thanks for watching.